out there in La La Land. Today I'm going to show you my simple recipe for creating pulled pork. And I'm going to create a little series of videos for you and show you how I put it together. It's very easy, very simple, and the end result is very tasty. So here we go. So we're going to do this in the crock pot. And I'm going to add some onions here to it, and this is you probably want like 2 medium onions, and this is a very large onion here, and I'm using about 1.5 of these. But Ali, I know you're not a big fan of onion, but if you use the Dahlia onions, those are sweet onions, and once they get mixed in with the pork, you don't even know they're there, and they really do add flavor. I've got garlic here. I cheat. I've got the chopped garlic, in the jar. I'm going to use about 4 teaspoons of that. And then I'm going to try for the first time some of this Trader Joe's barbecue rub. This looks really good, and I read a review of it, and it's supposed to be really tasty. So I'm going to show you how I rub down the meat with that. And then I'm going to use a cup of chicken broth. And then what I'm using today, I'm going to make you dizzy going sideways here, is this is a pork shoulder roast, and this one happens to be a little over 3 pounds here. But this is Aunt Basha and Uncle Bill. They bought half a cow and half a pig, I think, or a full pig or something. They got a bunch of stuff here. So anyway, pork shoulder roast or pork butt. If you go to the store and ask the butcher you want to make pulled pork, they'll guide you to the right type of meat. Now, I'm kind of doing this on the fly here, so I want to get my crock pot going while I'm preparing my meat. So I went ahead and I put my onions, garlic, and a cup of chicken broth into the crock pot. And then I'm going to start out on high to get the crock pot warming up, good for this. You can actually save yourself a little time if you prepare all this the night before. Then you don't have to really worry in the morning or fuss with it in the morning, especially if you have to go to work or something. So put the crock pot together in the evening, as I'm going to show you, and then in the morning, and then put it in the fridge, and then in the morning just take it out and put it into your crock pot holder there and turn it on and let it go for the day. We're going to be cooking it on low, actually, for the whole day, 8 to 10 hours, depending on the cut of meat and the size of the meat. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is prepare the meat, and this is very simple. I've got my my nice Trader Joe's rub here. You can also make your own. There's a ton of recipes on the internet for making a rub. But anyway, I've already rubbed down most of the sides here, but it's pretty easy. Let's see if I can coordinate this. So don't be bashful with the rub. Get a good charge on there, and then rub it in, and that's how the rub works. You just kind of work it in. The meat has the little gaps and things. See the little gaps in here, and you want to work that rub, right into the meat. This actually has a piece of bone in it here, so that's actually going to add a little additional flavor. But you can see I've worked that rub, into this chunk of meat all the way around. This is a nice piece of fat here, and that's actually again, that's going to really make your pulled pork come out tender. You're not going to eat that fat. It's just going to fall off, and like the bone, you're just going to take it out of there. But anyway, rub that rub in. And here's what I was saying earlier about preparing the meat ahead of time, is that if you do this the night before, then that meat is actually going to marinate a little bit with that rub, and that flavor is just going to go right through and really be nice in there. Okay. Okay, and then the last step is just to put that nice looking piece of meat right into your crock pot there. And really, that's it. You know, the rub is going to be your spice, but the what we'll see after the meat is cooked is we're also going to use barbecue sauce here to complete the pulled pork. But other than that, you know, no salt and pepper or any of that stuff. Your rub is your spice, and that's going to become, you know, part of your final product. So I'm going to put the cover on, and I'm going to let this heat up. Um, because I'm starting a little late. It's about 8 in the morning now. I would really want this going at about 7 so that if it needs 10 hours, you know, dinner's ready by 5. So I'm going to let it go for an hour on high just to get the crock pot going, and then I'm going to turn it on low and I'm going to let it go for about 8 hours. And I'll come back and when it's cooked and I'll show you how we finish it up. Okay, so we've been cooking for 8 hours now, since 8 o'clock this morning, and I opened up the pot to check it. I'm going to go sideways on you again. And you can see that I've been able to tear this apart, and so that it's definitely cooked through. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and I'm going to take the fat out and the bone, and then I'm going to drain most of the liquid out of this, because then I'm going to put some barbecue sauce in there and then let it cook a little longer. All right, so we just took the final step. We shredded all of the that nice pork. Just took 2 forks and sort of, you know, separated it out. Just shred it so that it's all nice and kind of stringy almost. And then I added barbecue sauce onto that, and Alia, you'll be happy to know that there's actually a very good keto-friendly barbecue sauce right there. Jihu's sugar-free barbecue sauce. And I'm using the original blend instead of anything with smoke or anything like that, because I don't want to dilute the flavor from that rub that we put on there. So I've got the barbecue sauce in there. Almost a whole bottle of that goes in, actually, with that 3 pounds of meat. And then I'm going to leave it on low, probably for another 45 minutes or an hour. And but really, at this point, if the meat's cooked and it's shredded and we got the sauce in there, as long as it's good and hot, it's ready to go, ready to eat. Enjoy.